gentlemen, welcome to Guildford Book Festival. Today's event, this evening's event, is the second event that has been sponsored by TWM Solicitors, one of the largest law firms in the South East, who advise on all areas of law for both commercial clients and individuals. If you would like further details of our sponsor, there is literature at the reception area, along with representatives of the firm, or you can visit twmsolicitors.com. And that, as you can see, is a message from our sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, the person behind here tonight needs no introduction. Rock god, rock star, and grumpy old rock star, Mr. Wakeman.
We didn't have the time to sound check, so I presume this is working. Yeah. I see they put a chair out for me. I'm old. There you go. It's so nice, I have to say, obviously, to be in a theatre, because these I've had so much fun going around doing these book events, and sometimes you do them in the shops if they're big shops, and sometimes they take you out to theatres, and occasionally some strange places. This is absolutely true. I went to Ely, to a lovely bookshop called Topics, where I was doing an evening, and they said, we haven't got a big enough shop to do the event, and we usually do it in a local theatre hall. But unfortunately that's not big enough, so we've had to go to the only place that's got enough seats to do your evening. I said, okay, that's fine, where is it? And they said, it's the Catholic Church. I said, you haven't heard me, have you? And they went, is it not really soon? I said, no, not really, no. I said, but I presume you've just, this is true, I said, I presume you've just rented the building, the priest won't be there. Yes, he will be there. And so we walked round to this Catholic church. And I'm thinking about what stories I might tell or what I might not tell, because I sort of change every now. And I was thinking, I can tell that one. No, I can't. I tell that one. No, I can't tell that one. Can I tell that? No, I can. And I was starting to panic. And in the end I thought, just the easiest thing to do is just go for it and play it back. And I don't know what made me do it. I really don't to this day. But I stood up in the front of the church, and there right in front of me was the priest, sitting there, sort of like grinning on me. And I don't know why I did it. There's about 400 other people sitting around in this church. And I said, hello, Father. And he went, oh, hello. And I said, I've been in a Catholic church before. You know, he said, oh, have you? I said, yeah. I said, although I'm not a Catholic, I'm a Baptist. He said, yeah, yes. I said, I went to confession. He said, did you? I said, yeah. I said, I went into the confession, I said, and the old curtain went back, and the priest said, confess your sins, my son. I said, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. He went, yes. And I said, forgive me, Father, last week I had 4 orgies with 14 nymphomaniacs and a cucumber. And he went, I know that voice, that's Rick Wakeman, isn't it? And I said, that's right. He said, you're not a Catholic, why are you telling me this? I said, I'm telling everybody. And it went downhill from there, really. So it's nice to be somewhere I know. One thing I will tell you about the book, which I've had so much fun doing, is there is no reference to any of my wives or marriages in the book. Because I wanted the book to be fun. I wanted it to be enjoyable. And so I thought I'd leave the wives out. It's really interesting coming into Surrey, because one of my marriages was in Surrey, took place in Surrey. So I used to live in Godalming and then in Camberley. But wives have always been an anathema to me. I just don't understand them at all. I've had 3 divorces, about to get married for the 4th time. And again, this is not in the book, so I don't want to get sued. But you probably read in the papers, you're probably reading now about the reasons that women give for divorcing men and get away with it. Now tonight is sponsored by a wonderful firm of lawyers. I expect they dealt for both sides, I'm sure, but I just don't understand how women get away with some of the things that they divorce for. My second wife, this is absolutely true, actually divorced me on the grounds that I wouldn't open the car door for her. That was the grounds. I mean, actually, I simply panicked and swam to the surface, but that's just but I shall do it again. I love the cake. met some wonderful people for the first time I was doing this. I met Clive James and Ian Rankin, which was absolutely fantastic. And both Ian and Clive said, because they'd read the book, and they said the thing they liked about the book was, they said, we never queried any of the stories at all. In fact, they said, we probably think you watered some down. I said, well, they did have to be watered down, some of them. And I said, why is that? They said, because in every story, it involves other people. You know, you're never there on your own all the time. There's always other people involved. And I said, well, they really helped a lot of the other people because they reminded me of certain elements of things that have happened. And, for example, there's a great tour manager I had called Funky Fat Fred. Now, Funky Fat Fred was famous in the music industry back in the 70s because he was the worst tour manager probably in the world. He was absolute crap. He was useless. But we loved him. And he was very, very famous. And there were a lot of bands trying to get Fred off of me because they just wanted to take him around because he was so bad. A tour manager's job is to get you, to the airport, to get you to the country you're going to, the hotel, to the show, then to the next place, all that kind of thing. Fred actually got us to wrong airports. He actually got us to the wrong country. We were due to play a festival in Belgium, and he got us to Bulgaria. We landed in Sofia. We were going, Fred, this isn't right. And Fred was absolutely useless on every front. One of the things that a tour manager's job is to get you up in the morning in the hotels, get everybody up. Fred could not wake up. Fred could never wake up. We loved Fred so much that what we used to do was we would take it in turns to get an early morning call. We would have a spare key for Fred's room. We would go to Fred's room, go in, wake him up, get him up. Then we would go back to bed so that Fred could come round and wake us up. The most amazing thing about Fred was, and this is where it starts to get politically incorrect, and I'm sorry about this, but it is actually a true story. Fred had an incredible taste in women. Amazing thing. Because every one of Fred's girlfriends, and again this is not an exaggeration, had something wrong with them. And I'm not talking about something minor, like a little bit of nose hair, we're talking about 3 legs, or 3 ears, or a nose face facing east, or something like that. They all had something incredibly wrong with them. And we were on tour in Chicago with my own band, and we were playing, so we just played, we came back to the hotel, and there was a bar in the basement. So we all went down to the bar to have a drink, and all my band were in a line. There's Ashley, the Greasy Wop, the drummer, and he was known as the Greasy Wop, he was our Italian drummer. It's absolutely true. Greasy Wop, when he first joined us, he said, my name is Tony Fernandez, I'm Italian, please, I do not want any insults. So he was called the Greasy Wop. It was Dusty and Budgie. And then they said, is Fred coming down, Rick? I said, I don't know. So I've got to go back up to my room for 5 minutes. I'll just knock on Fred's door and see if he's going to come down. So I went up there and I knocked on Fred's door, and it was slightly ajar. He said, come in, Rick. So I went in, and there was Fred combing his hair. And I couldn't help but, I said, you coming down to the bar? He said, we'll be down in a minute. I said, wait. I looked down, and on the bed, absolutely, was lying naked, a most beautiful blonde girl. She was stunning, naked, just lying on the bed. I mean, under normal circumstances, being a gentleman, I would not have looked. But this was Fred's girlfriend, so you had to have a look. I was doing things like I'd count the toes, 1, 2, 3, 2 hands and teeth, and she smiled with her own teeth. And I said, Fred? He went, yeah. I said, that's Sue. She smiled at me. I went, something. I said, her own hair? He said, yeah. I said, alopecia? No. I said, it's fine. And I said, you coming down? He said, yeah, we'll be down in a minute. I said, okay. So I went back down to the bar, and they said, Fred, coming down? I said, yeah. I said, you ain't going to believe it. Fred's pulled a cracker. They said, oh, come on, something's wrong with her. I said, no, honestly, not something. They said, nose missing. I said, no, honestly. 3 legs. No, honestly. I said, she's absolutely gorgeous. Alopecia. No, honestly, she's beautiful, blonde. They said, got to be something. I said, I swear to you, she is gorgeous. I said, I saw her. They said, you count the fingers? I said, honestly, everything.